Yo, what is up guys? You know who it is. Ever since LeBron James began to get stronger and stronger and stronger as his career progressed, the East began to get weaker and weaker and weaker. You know, players decided to take their talents out west in a conference that wasn't being dominated by LeBron James. Front offices deciding to blow up their rosters and build for the future because they didn't want to compete with LeBron James. I mean, this will be what? LeBron James' 7th straight trip to the NBA Finals? I mean, that's just crazy. And with how well LeBron is playing so far this postseason, he could very well end up in the finals at least 10 straight times, which is great for any Cavs or LeBron fans out there, but for everyone else in the East, not so much. Because despite the East being seen as the weaker conference, you still have some good teams who are being victimized by LeBron. And one of those teams for sure would be the Toronto Raptors. After taking LeBron and the Cavs to 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, the Raptors were done in only 4 games this year. The year where they were supposed to be better equipped to deal with LeBron James thanks to the midseason acquisitions of Ibaka and Tucker. And obviously, that wasn't the case. And yeah, you could look at the fact that Kyle Lowry went down in game 2 with an ankle sprain, so maybe if he was able to play, they could have won a game or 2. And who knows, you might have been right. But the fact is that they were swept. You know, LeBron scored over 30 points in each of the games during that series. The Raptors simply couldn't find an answer to him to save their lives. And after the series, it kind of seems like the Raptors have given up in their battle in trying to dethrone LeBron. I mean, after the loss, both of their leaders in Lowry and DeRozan both basically admitted that they will never be able to beat LeBron. You know, DeMar saying after the game that if the Raptors had LeBron, they would have won.
Coach said that maybe if you guys had a little bit more time, things might have been different this time around. Do you feel as though that might have been one of the issues?
If we had LeBron on our team too, we would have. You know, we could say that. We could say that all day, time, everything, but you know, we didn't. You know, it happened. You know, we got swept, and you know, it's gonna be one of them long summers for us.
That is very true, DeMar. Very, very true. But that's also true for just about every team in the East that has made the playoffs. Put LeBron on their team and they're automatically title contenders. And then Lowry saying after the game that, quote, nobody is closing the gap on LeBron, meaning in the East, it's impossible to stop LeBron. And after both of these remarks, it has caused some speculation around the Raptors as this will be a crucial offseason for them since Kyle Lowry is an unrestricted free agent. And as you could probably guess, after seeing his Raptors get swept by the Cavaliers in the second round, there is speculation that Lowry could be taking his talents out west in order to escape the Eastern Conference. And look, we all know that Lowry and DeRozan have a close relationship, both on and off the court. But Lowry is now at the point of his career where if he wants to be a key contributor on a championship team, then it has to be now. He is 31 years old, coming off the best statistical season of his career. And with the way he plays, he could play at a similar level for like the next 4-ish years. But that may seem like a lot of time, but it's not. This contract that he's getting ready to sign this offseason could be the one that defines his legacy, since it will most likely be a 4 or 5 year deal. And like I said earlier, with the way LeBron is playing in 4 years, he could still very well be dominating the East. Like, that's no joke. A 37-year-old LeBron James could still be running things in the Eastern Conference. But even if that's not the case, you have a lot of young up-and-coming teams in the East. I mean, you look at the Washington Wizards and what they're doing. They're only a piece away from possibly becoming contenders. Same could be said for the Boston Celtics. And then you have teams like the Bucks with Giannis. And who knows how good he could be in the next 4 years. It's not going to get any easier to win in the East during the next 4 years. So with that in mind, if a team like the San Antonio Spurs were to offer Lowry a contract this offseason, he'd be able to go there and have a chance to win a championship and help define his legacy. And I'd have to think that even though he may love Toronto and has a connection with DeRozan, he'd have to give serious thought into taking their offer, since it comes with a chance, like I said, to compete for a championship. Whereas if he stays in Toronto, they will still be a good team, but in the end, there most likely won't be a match for LeBron James. I just said how the Wizards are one piece away from being possible championship contenders. But for like a 6-minute stretch in yesterday's game against the Celtics, the Wizards showed that if they get going, they could probably beat anyone in the NBA. And yes, I do mean anyone. That 6-minute stretch to begin the third quarter, when they went on a 26-0 run to basically suck all the life out of Boston, was incredible, both offensively and defensively. It was just incredible. Those 6 minutes are probably the best 6 minutes of basketball this entire postseason. And I don't think you will ever see a more perfect 6 minutes from a team like that again. I mean, John Wall, who was having his worst game of the playoffs so far, all of a sudden caught fire during those 6 minutes, both with his shot and making some absolutely incredible passes to his teammates. And his teammates were in sync and hitting their shots too. And in the end, of course, Washington got the 121-102 win. Like I said, John Wall started off slow, but still finished with 27 points, 12 assists, and 5 steals. Beal was on fire too, as he had 29 points on 11 of 16 shooting. And then Washington also got solid contributions from Porter in his 18 points and Morris and his 16. You know, the series will now shift back to Boston for game 5, so let's see if the Wizards can be as good on the road as they are at home.
I try to go out there and play as hard as I could for my teammates tonight, man. And it's just tough. I had to be there for my grandmother. I mean, that's the only man she knew for the last 26 years. I had to be there for my mom. I had to be there for my cousins back home in Chicago. It's just tough, man. It's tough. It's so tough, man, because everybody know I work so extremely hard to prove myself each and every night, and to have somebody that was right there supporting me the whole way. Wore my jerseys every single day of his life. Wore my Russian jerseys every single day of his life, man. To have a person like that, man, just been taken from you is hard. It's so hard, but it's a bigger plan. And I'm gonna keep my faith, of course, and I'm gonna be there for my family. But anyone who has grandparents, mothers, whatever, to have them taken away from you is super hard. Thanks.
Man, what is going on here? Players are losing family members left and right. At the end of the season, it was D'Angelo Russell losing his grandmother and then still playing the games like the same day. And of course, Isaiah Thomas lost his sister to start the playoffs. And now Patrick Beverley lost his granddad. And he was just like notified it right before the game started. He planned on catching a flight, but his family members wanted him to stay and play in the game. I can't imagine how hard that must have been to do. Like, no time to comprehend or cope at all with what's going on, because you have to go out there and help your team on the court. And with so much on the line, Beverley, of course, losing his granddad and still being there for the team, and the possibility of going down 1-3 against the Spurs, there was no way that the Rockets were gonna let themselves lose this game, as they came out firing in the first quarter and never looked back to get the 125-104 win. And I'm just gonna say this, I never imagined that this series would be full of blowouts. And that's all we've seen so far in this series, blowout after blowout after blowout. James Harden had 28 points and 12 assists, Gordon had 22 off the bench, and Beverley had 10 points and 6 assists. I'm really sorry for your loss, Pat. Kawhi and Aldridge both had 16 for San Antonio. Yesterday, after LeBron James said he had nothing left to prove in the NBA, I asked you guys if you thought he had anything left to prove, and if so, what? To which you guys said, I want LeBron to win 6,467,892 more championships, 5,739 more Rookie of the Years, 150 million career points, 5,837 MVPs, 3,839 Defensive Player of the Years, 5,847 Coaches of the Years. He is chasing the ghost that once played in Chicago, the one and only Brian Scalabrine, right? As sad as it is, I think that's what it would take LeBron James to prove himself to the people that absolutely despise him, like Skip Bayless. That is what he wants to see from LeBron James. LeBron needs to win a chip this year for me to solidify him as the GOAT. LeBron may be the better player, but MJ has the better legacy. Beating those loaded Warriors gives him a better legacy than MJ, to me at least. I don't think he has anything left to prove, but if he beats Golden State, he is with no doubt the GOAT for me. Yep, I think everyone, no matter how they feel about LeBron, at least acknowledges that he is one of the greatest players to ever play the game. That is, unless you are Skip Bayless. With the majority of people saying that if he can beat the Warriors this year, he will become the GOAT. That is, once again, unless you are Skip Bayless. And I'm just gonna say this, if LeBron beats the Warriors this year, it's a wrap for the entire NBA. I mean, just think about that. A 73-win team added an MVP in Kevin Durant in order to be able to beat LeBron. If LeBron still wins the championship, what can any team do in hopes to be able to beat LeBron? His dominance over today's NBA will never be questioned again. But that's going to lead us to the question of the day, and it once again is LeBron related. Will Kyle Lowry go to the West? It's simple. In order to escape the East, will Kyle Lowry join a Western Conference team? As bad as it would be to see him leave Toronto and leave DeMar DeRozan, I could definitely see if a team like the Spurs were to offer Kyle Lowry a contract, I would see him taking that deal. Let me know your answer to the question of the day down in the comment section below. But now let's hop over into the player of the day. Yesterday, by default, the player of the day was Kevin Durant and his 38 points and 13 rebounds, and here are today's nominees. You have LeBron James and his 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Kyrie Irving and his 27 points, 9 assists, and 4 steals. John Wall and his 27 points, 12 assists, and 5 steals. James Harden and his 28 points and 12 assists. Or Patrick Beverley and his 10 points and 6 assists. You guys can go vote for the player of the day right now by following the straw poll link down in the description box below. But other than that, thank you once again for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like on and subscribe to stay up to date with everything that's going on in the NBA. And until tomorrow, keep getting the Bucks team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace.